I'm John Coker, Head of Options Compliance at Webull Financial. I'm here in Times Square at Nasdaq Studio alongside Nico Fazio, Director, U.S. Options Sales at Nasdaq. Good to see you, Nico.
Great to see you, John.
Today, we are going to be talking about Nasdaq's flagship index option, NDX, as well as its smaller counterpart, XND. Then, later on, as a part of this three-part web series, we are going to place a live index option trade on the Webull platform. First, let's briefly discuss the underlying index itself, the Nasdaq 100 index. Nico, what is the Nasdaq 100 index?
So an index is really a group of stocks or underlying assets used to represent the market or a certain segment of the market. Investors use indexes to track performance, but also they use it to gain exposure to the market without having to buy all the underlying securities individually. So the Nasdaq 100 in particular tracks the 100 largest non-financial companies listed on the Nasdaq Stock Exchange. The index is a modified capitalization weighted index, which basically means the larger the market cap of the index constituent or the larger the size of the company, subject to certain thresholds, the larger of a spot it's going to have in our index. So when you think about the largest constituents of the Nasdaq 100 index, you're looking at companies like Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, and other tech companies.
I see. Those are some notable names. So now that we've got the Nasdaq 100 index covered, tell us about the Nasdaq index options.
Yeah, totally. So the NDX option is a cash-settled European-style option based on the Nasdaq 100 index. It's going to be a liquid option that allows investors to gain exposure to that underlying index, which has a value of around 15,000 right now. So if you multiply that by the average options contract multiplier, which is 100, you're looking at a pretty big notional contract at around $1.5 million. With that being said, keep in mind we also offer XND, which is options on the Nasdaq 100 micro index. And those are going to be 1/100th of the size. So you're looking at like a $15,000 notional value, which is a lot more suitable for smaller account sizes.
So in addition to NDX, you also have the smaller size contracts, XND, which don't require as much capital to trade.
That's right. Earlier I mentioned that these options are both European style and cash settled, so we should discuss what both of those things mean. First of all, European style means that the option can't be exercised anytime prior to its expiration. So this actually negates the early assignment risk to option sellers. And then there's the cash settled piece, which basically means that upon settlement, you're not going to get physical delivery of any underlying equity or ETF. You're actually going to have your position closed out in cash.
I see. So it sounds like managing the assignments is much easier compared to American-style stock and ETF options, which can be assigned at any time. Plus, you don't have to tie up as much capital to buy and sell the securities if you are assigned. What are some other notable differences between the Nasdaq index options and other regular stock options?
Yeah, so notably, NDX actually comes with two settlements. So there's the NDX regular contract, and then there's NDXP, the PM settled contract. The regular contract has expiries on the third Friday of every month, and those are AM settled. So the way that works is the day before settlement, trading will go till 4:15, and then the morning of settlement, as soon as the market opens, that index value is going to be the settlement value. NDXP, however, will actually trade through the settlement day, and the index value will be exactly at 4 p.m. as soon as the market closes. Keep in mind that NDXP actually has expiries listed on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and every non-third Friday. And also, earlier we talked about XND, the micro version of that contract. That's going to be only PM settled.
I see. So with the PM settled options, you don't have that overnight risk where the index value can literally change overnight between the close on Thursday and the open on Friday, potentially leaving you stuck in a bad position.
Exactly.
So with the PM settled options, investors can continue to trade right up to the time when the final settlement value is determined.
The last difference I'll point out is that index options like NDX and XND have the potential for advantageous tax treatment, with 60% gains being taxed as long-term, no matter the holding period. But please remember that this is not tax advice, and you should definitely be sure to consult with your tax professional with any questions or interest on the tax benefits of trading index options.
I see. So there's slightly better tax treatment to those short-term traders who get most of their gains taxed at a lower long-term rate. Well, that covers Nasdaq index options. Tune in for part 2, where we will place a live index option trade on the Webull platform.